Welcome in again, everybody. Welcome in, Rattler Nation, to 2023. And tonight, team orientation dinner night for the Arizona Rattlers. The head coach and the president of the organization, Kevin Guy, joining me now. Coach Guy, a lot of new faces, a whole new year. There's a lot of buzz here. There's a lot of energy in that room over there where the guys are meeting.
Yeah, it's orientation night, so it's a chance to finally put a face to the names that we recruited all off season. But we're still disappointed in how we finished last year, and we're making sure that they understand the expectations going into this season.
Well, I mentioned there are a lot of new faces in there, Coach. Not a lot of organizations that achieve at the highest level, and you were one notch down this last year from the highest level. Got to the conference championship game. Not a lot of those teams are remaking their roster, but there's a lot of new guys in there to compete for positions.
No doubt about it. Every year we want the most competition that we can bring in. We feel like competition breeds success. As far as last year's go, I mean, it starts and stops at my desk. I got to look in the mirror, and we've definitely made some changes going into this season from our staff on down to players. And so we have high expectations in this organization, and the commitment level has to be there, and the work ethic has to be there. So we feel good. We've gotten a lot younger, and we'll see what we got first few days.
Yeah, a lot of changes, but still some veteran leadership that comes back. And on that defense, I want to talk about two guys, ask you about two guys, Devontae Merriweather, Dylan Winfrey, anchors to that defense that you talked about in your earlier speech. You talked about how the team was built on its defense last year. And those two guys are certainly linchpins of a great defense.
Yeah, well, I'm a big believer in this game. You build your team right down the middle. And on defense, it starts with that nose guard, which we traded for yesterday, the day before camp started. First team All-League, Uric Jones, to come in and be that nose guard for us. He still has to compete, but, we like what he did last year. But then Merriweather and Winfrey, at that bandit spot and our safety spot, you got to have experience. And when you lose those pieces, that's when you don't play as well. So, we got some, but all three of those positions are going to have competition, and it's going to be interesting to watch.
Can we go back to Uric Jones for a moment? Yeah. Can we go back to the new guy? Mm-hmm. He was a force on that defensive front for the league champions, for the Wranglers, and now he's in uniform. How much of a heads up did he have? Did he have any idea he'd be sitting in this meeting with the Rattlers here tonight?
I don't know what he knew. I knew what I knew and what I was doing behind the scenes to work the deal. But he became available, and we understood that he was on the market, and we went in and made a play, and we gave up Theo for him, and we love Theo. Theo is a hard player with a great work ethic, plays hard. But we couldn't turn down the opportunity to get a guy like Uric, and we think he's got a chance to be special, especially playing for Coach Jernigan. Coach Jernigan always does a nice job with those D linemen, and we'll see. Proof is in the pudding.
You bring back the MVP. Drew Powell's back, multi-year MVP, one of the top offensive weapons in the league. But you also have some other quarterbacks in the mix. There are other guys here to maybe elevate the competition level at the position. What do you expect from your quarterbacks in 2023?
Well, we're going to compete in camp, that's for sure. Drew has had 2 spectacular years. We certainly didn't finish like we wanted to. I don't think that's 100% on Drew. But at the same time, we feel like if we're going to compete for championships, we got to get back to having a very deep roster. With Will and Raynard, we signed Will as a free agent, street free agent, and Raynard played in San Diego, and he's got 8 games under his belt. If you look at his numbers in those 8 games and you multiply them by 2, because we play 16 games a year, at least we did last year. We got 15 this year, but if you multiply his numbers by 2, his numbers were better than Drew's. Okay, so So we feel really good about the competition going into camp, and whether you're the MVP or you're a new guy on the team, everybody's going to compete on this team for a spot.
Coach, new coaches as well. Your staff has been remade a little bit.
It is. Coach Connie Kwai moved on, retired, and he helped us win, and we had some very special years with him. So we appreciate him. We wish him well. Outstanding. He's done an outstanding job for us. I can't say enough about him. But we also, you know, we didn't, Bubba didn't come back. He was our defensive back coach. A lot of different reasons, but main reason was, I think for me, it was time for me to get my hands back on this defense on an everyday basis, and so we can try to reach the goals. And that's not a knock on Bubba. I think Bubba did an outstanding job. He's got some things going on in his life to get his career going, but when it really came down to making that decision, for me and the team and for this organization, it was time to get it back hands-on.
Coach, the Arizona Rattlers, undisputed, the best fan base in the IFL, the best fan base in the country, really. And those fans have a high level of expectation, the all-time winningest organization, the number of times this team has been in the championship and won the championship. And the expectation level is very high. So what do you say, if you're addressing those fans out there, what do you tell them about this commitment, the commitment that this team has to winning, the commitment this team has to bringing another championship home?
Well, we're committed. There's no doubt about it. But certainly the fans have done their job. We need to do, as an organization, our product on the field, we need to do a better job of competing and trying to win that last game. And, whether it was turnovers or, we're not winning the line of scrimmage, whatever it was, okay? There's many reasons that contributed to, us losing, and there can only be one winner, and I understand that. But I'm a very, very highly competitive person, right? So, and so we just felt like it was time to get younger. We've gave some guys, 2, 3, 4 years to try to win it, and it hasn't happened, and it was time to move on and bring in some fresh blood and see if we can get these guys going in the right direction.
So I'll end with this thought, Coach. You and I had the privilege, along with one of your fellow coaches in the league, to call the championship game on the broadcast in Las Vegas this past year.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt the entire time that there was, certainly you did a great job, very professional, but Coach, I couldn't help but feel that you were wanting to be on that field the entire time. Did that kind of build some further motivation to get going for this season and compete for that championship?
Well, I certainly did it for that reason. I wanted to piss myself off, okay? And, and I got to, anytime you put that mic in front of me, I'm going to get a couple shots in too, right? So,
sure.
But, I had fun, with you and Coach Riggs. There was that one time I had to step away while Coach Riggs spoke about, the kids' camps and all that stuff, but then the ratings were dropping, so they had to bring me back on. They had to get me back on camera to get it back going again. But yeah, we had fun. It was a fun weekend, but it was also a weekend that I got to reflect. And the first thing I do every year is look in the mirror and look at myself and what do we got to do to address some things and what we got to do to try to win a championship. And we've played for the championship 8 out of the last 11 years. We got a great organization. We're winning, but winning and winning the championship are two different things.
Absolutely,
and we got to get back to trying to win that ship.
And you'd rather be coaching in that game rather than broadcasting?
Certainly, and I'm sure those referees love seeing me too. I got great friends that are refs, and I'm sure they love hearing from me every game and the things I get to say to them. So I enjoy it.
Going to be fun, Coach. Can't wait for the season to get underway. I know training camp is about ready to go, and a great night tonight to kick it all off.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys being out here. We're excited.